Greetings to one and all present here. Warm welcome from the team Own Your Growth. Today we have with us Aditya Sahadevan, who will be talking to us on climate change and eco-anxiety. As we all know, we are hearing a lot of buzz about climate change, and there's this new term that has been termed, but we all have been facing it all these years, which is eco-anxiety. And Aditya, a little bit about Aditya Sahadevan is a 21-year-old climate change activist, a law student, and a public speaker and environmental mentor. He hails from Kerala, India, and he suffers from eco-anxiety just as everyone. And the difference is he changes his eco-anxiety into eco-activism. He was associated with multiple environmental organizations like Bring Back Green, Fridays for Future India, Bhumitrasena, and more. His objective is to create awareness on carbon footprint, which we emit knowingly and unknowingly. He took up law to become an environmental lawyer to fight injustice with justice. He suffers from eco-anxiety, and he says he suffers from eco-anxiety, and he wants to convert his anxiety into eco-activism through his writing and flaunt the facts and fears about climate change to create awareness. And he got involved into climate change action and awareness since his 8th grade. And he's been invited as a guest to various webinars till now. And he's been creating content regarding climate change. And he recently won a climate change content creating competition conducted. And one more exciting information for all of us is he's been called for a TEDx speech on November 30th. I'm sure people would watch that. We'll look forward to that and watch that as well. He's been associated with various other organizations and has been interviewed by, his work has been featured by the Times of India, Official Humans of Kerala, Fridays for Future Germany, and the Climate Change Project England. So with this introduction, I would like to hand over the session to Aditya. Over to you.
Thank you so much for the long introduction. It means so much to me. And good evening. So can I start? Yeah.
Yes.
So my name is Aditya S Sahadevan. I'm a climate change activist. The topic is climate change and eco-anxiety. So let me give a brief introduction about what is climate change. Actually, last month was the warmest month in record itself. We have been hearing this for the past 2 years, right? Climate change, the impacts of climate change is getting serious day by day. Even a 0.1 degree Celsius can have serious impact, and we are experiencing it. And the climate change affects us all, not just human beings, like the way we have been taught at school. And that's where the problem began. That's the problem with the education system. So the impacts of climate change include wildfires, droughts, floods, ocean sea level rise, glacier melting, and many more. So the climate change is a human-induced activity, and carbon emission intensifies climate change, and we are all responsible for it. So let me clear a misconception about climate and weather, because whenever people are making conversations about climate and weather, they use climate and weather and in the other way, like vice versa. So that's the wrong thing. So let me clear the misconception right here. So weather is actually the atmospheric temperature of a geographical location, and it changes from we can make accurate load. It changes like from seconds or minutes to hours, but and it's a short-term temperature only. Taking the case of climate, it's a long-term atmospheric temperature of a geographical location, and it can be calculated in terms of years or decades, or maybe climate is the average weather of a geographical location or a long period of time. So yeah. So, and also the situation gets worse because of the skyrocketing carbon emissions. And there are 3 carbon natural neutralizers, and they are the ones who neutralizes these carbon emissions in the atmosphere by maintaining the ecological balance. So they are forests, oceans, and blue whales. So first, let me talk about blue whales. So blue whales actually absorb about 30 times of carbon dioxide. In a lifetime of 30 to 90 years, and it's a big thing. And they also absorb, they also consume this excess fish in the ocean by controlling the overpopulation to make sure that there is no over exploitation of resources in the ocean as well. I hope we had a blue whale in the Earth as well to make sure that our population, our population over exploitation is given check. Yeah, so talking and also blue whale plays a very crucial role in maintaining the ocean balance. Actually, ocean balance is what ocean balance determines the health of the planet as well. So yeah, so but right now these blue whales are slaughtered in the name of meat and tradition. But so we need these stronger legislations to protect these species from being getting on the verge of extinction. We have to protect these species. Yeah. So talking about oceans, the second natural neutralizer, carbon natural neutralizer. So oceans absorb about 26% of the carbon dioxide, and they also give us oxygen back. But right now, there's a lot of hindrances like we have seen the news like the oil spills, the plastic pollution, and different. Yeah, and also talking about the carbon emission. So coming to the carbon emissions and how it affects the ocean. So this excess carbon emission when absorbed by the ocean because only the ocean have the yeah at the moment ocean have the 26% capacity to absorb the carbon dioxide. But right now, because of the excess carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, yeah, it is getting difficult for the ocean to absorb it because it is more than what is the capacity. So it is almost like overflowing. So the overflowing has serious impacts like the ocean temperature will rise and thereby there'll be ocean acidification, there'll be coral bleaching. So when there is coral bleaching, that means a quarter of the million species of marine species will lose their habitat. They'll be homeless and they'll be exposed to natural predators like blue whales. And it will be easier for it will make the job of the blue whale easier as well. So and conservation of our population and poverty. These when this thing happens, even yeah, so 1.5 billion people will lose the source of protein and source of livelihood when this happens. Yeah. So talking about the forest or trees absorb about 40 tons of a tree absorb about 40 tons of carbon dioxide for lifetime. And also, we know several benefits. It also gives us oxygen. And talking about, yeah, they not only absorb this oxygen, not only absorb this carbon dioxide, but also they absorb these toxic and viruses. According to scientists, there's a lot of thousands of viruses in animals. That means there'll be more pandemics if you don't take care of the planet. So yeah, so this won't end if unless we act. So yeah, according to scientists, there are thousands of viruses in animals, and 75% of the emerging diseases will be from the animals. That is zoonotic diseases, like we have seen, like Nipah virus is a zoonotic virus, COVID-19 is a zoonotic virus. So these are all transmitted from animals to humans through through the interaction. So the interaction is through the consumption of meat, like the consumption of meat, to illegal wildlife trade, or other purposes for medical and commercial purposes as well. So, like animals, they emit this carbon dioxide, right? Like we have learned in school classes, and so they emit not only this carbon dioxide, but also they emit these viruses from the body, viruses and toxins from the body as well. But earlier we had a lot of trees and forest covers, so that these viruses won't be transferred into the air. But at the moment, we are losing thousands of huge range of forests at seconds. So that is one reason why these zoonotic viruses are rising. And yeah, so we have to protect these natural carbon neutralizers at any cost because they are the ones who are trying to neutralize the planet by maintaining the ecological balance. Yeah. So talking about the main topic, that is eco-anxiety. So I suffer from eco-anxiety, and eco-anxiety is a sense of hopelessness, helplessness, and we feel insecure, we feel sensitive, we feel numb whenever we witness this climate changes happening around us. So it also clouds our mind with thousands of questions like, am I doing enough? Is my activism impactful? Am I the only one in it? So, and also it makes us feel guilt, it makes us feel accountable. And actually, one thing I really appreciate about having eco-anxiety is that it really makes us accountable. It really helps us develop a feeling of guilt. So that guilt feeling helps us to reduce, like for example, I've been consuming something and I researched and came to know that this thing consumes a lot of carbon dioxide, this emits a lot of carbon dioxide. And after researching and after I came to know that I faulted this usage, or I faulted this usage because we can we can make amendments only when we came to know about it, right? So yeah, so that guilt feeling is one thing that keeps us going to cut more high carbon emission services or products. So yeah, so dealing with eco-anxiety is a very difficult task. The psychological impact it has on us is man. And also talking about so eco-anxiety, my eco-anxiety was at its zenith during the US elections because I mean eco-anxiety is a good thing in a way because like I said, it is my driving force. It helps me going my activism. It helps my activism going on. So I mean, like, do you want Mr. Biden to win the election? Why? Because Mr. Trump has zero eco-anxiety. That's why. So yeah, that's it. So even this webinar emits about we have three people. Maybe it may emit about some 5 to 10 kilograms of carbon emissions because we are all accessing this session through our laptops and electronic devices, which is powered through non-renewable resources. So that means whatever we do have carbon emissions. When heating your water, will have carbon emissions. So I'm just trying to convey that even small things or even things that which is meant to create awareness also has carbon footprint. Doesn't mean we have to abandon it. This is much better way than going to the physical events and that. So yeah, so that's the thing. And so even talking about eco-anxiety, it makes us to take. It actually forces us to take extra purchases, to take extra walks because actually the time is running out because few people needed to fight in this cause. And also, we have a lot to undo the damage that is done by the previous generations. And so the pressure is on us. We have to act. It is our future, all of our future. And also, I had stammering. Earlier, I had stammering, and during 8th standard, I had stammering, and I couldn't even spell my word. It was really it is a really difficult time for me. Then and actually the initial stages, like I said, I convert my eco-anxiety into activism through my writing, researching, or public speaking, or else. But in the initial stage, I stick to writing only. I was a content creator, so from a content creator's perspective and having the eco-anxiety, which made me to explore different areas. And I knew that so there's a lot of people, and I have to make sure that I reach out to many people. But from a content creator's perspective, I had this feeling that you have to think about people's interests as well. Like some people may not be interested in reading, some people may not be interested in watching videos. So I have to create different like ways of communication. So I had to I had to extend my way of communication to public speaking as well. And I never thought that I can ever do that because a person having stammering, I couldn't even tell my roll number when I was in my school days. So yeah, this is a very difficult time. And right now I'm really feeling proud that I'm come a long way because of this eco-anxiety. It has really helped me personally, and it has helped me to contribute to protect the planet, and also it has given me the relief because I'm doing something. I'm not just sitting. I'm doing something, and also helps me to convert it. So So and also right now I've done I've done 17 webinars and also been called for this. This is a 165th session, right? Of On Your Thoughts. Yeah, so I'm honored to be a part of this session as well. And like you said, being called for a TEDx speech as well, it's a big milestone. So it's all because of that the fire, that's eco-anxiety, it is driving me to do things. And also talking about environment impact assessment, impact notification 2020. So it was released last year. So at least with the environment ministry, and actually it was a very big breakdown for me because the environment ministry was acting ironically because we even lost the trust in the system because the environment minister actually handled the industrial department as well. And ironically, the environment ministry is aiding the industrial development than the industrial ministry itself. So we are witnessing things like that, and which makes us feel hopeless. And also, hopeless. And also at that time, I was doing research on a project on environment impact assessment to send a research report to the environment minister. I was doing internship, research internship, but I was really exhausted. I had sinus, and I was the health reasons of haunting me. and I couldn't focus on my education, on my academics, and my parents were also advising me to drop this for health reasons. But I can't drop it because I'm glad that I have good friends as well. They have supported me, and yeah, so yeah, so and I couldn't drop it because I was actually on a mission to convince the people to how do you say, like I was damn confident that I was just 20 years old, and I was damn confident that maybe even the environment minister might read my research report, and I was on a mission to convince the public and the government to repeal that draft. So I was super confident about that as well. So yeah, so actually a day without reading or writing, writing or searching about climate change is a day influenced with that actually. Like, it made me feel worthless. Like you say, like we often feel guilt for not being proactive, right? So in my case, it is yeah, this eco-anxiety, not reading or doing something related to environment really gives me that feeling, and I feel worthless. So because this is the reason why I'm like living, and this is the purpose of my life, and yeah, so this is the purpose of my life. And also eco-anxiety has influenced me in some of the moral decisions I've made in my life, from dietary to personal to professional changes as well. And I have taken up environmental law to become an environmental lawyer. So yeah, so actually I was really keen to become a civil servant. I will become, but I really don't want to actually to be in a long term because of the political pressure the position holds. And I was I was having that feeling that I won't be able to work freely. So and I really want it to be my own league. So and we already know the legislation, and we know the power of legislation. So yeah, and also I took the decision in the interest in my personal interest, the tough decision. I was feel and mentally prepared for that as well. But after observing serious events, really makes us be motivated. So that's why I had to drop it. So and also yeah, and we already know the impacts and the changes the law can make. So that is one reason. It is evident that eco-anxiety is really very powerful. It can really drives us to make different important decisions in our life. So yeah, talking about individual action, and yeah, so yeah, talking about individual action. So actually, one second. Yeah. So yeah. So actually, I'm not going to talk about humongous plans. Like when we are asked to talk about to suggest environmental policies or suggestions, we used to boast a lot. But what I'm suggesting is not big plans, but how can we come to that conclusions? How can we achieve, or how can we execute these already laid out plans? That is my proposal is like I'm proposing a sociological or psychological concept, because first in achieving something in the initial phase we need to make sure that the people have that mentality to fight this cause, that mental preparedness. They have to instill that feeling of collectivity. That they have to. Sometimes I also like I said, like people need to have their eco-anxiety. So we have to spit out facts. People might be involved in this cause because of different reasons, but emotions or these some people have even suicided because of climate change, and so there are different reasons. So these emotions or these emotions of separation, love, sorrow, and these things actually drives us to do things. So actually, yeah, talking about that. So so we have to instill that fear in people, and to fight this cause, to fight and face this cause, rather than considering it as a fate. Yeah. So I have realized the power of individual action actually when and I can give a real life incident but it is blended into blended in a way of statistical sentence. So let me give it hello, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Please continue.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, Yeah. So actually, the individuals often feel powerless, and we often feel like, can one person do anything? Yeah, one person can do anything, but what if 7 billion people have the same mentality? This layperson is so powerful, and they often consider, they often underrate their impacts. They often think their activities are ineffective. But actually, they are super powerful. Yes, sir. Because had it been without that, our oceans wouldn't have been flooded with 8 million tons of plastic products. Because every time someone drops a plastic bottle, they release just one. But this was the exact same thought that 7 billion population had been the plastic bottle. Actually, we need to have that unity in a reverse way. We need to shift that mentality. We need to reverse this mentality, and this is monstrous. So, so we have seen that individual actions can have impacts, positive and negative. So let's make sure that is the positive one. So also talking about sustainability, like it should start from us, right? So it should always start from us rather than always waiting for someone to show up. So sustainability starts at home, rather than always complaining or scapegoating the government or corporates about this. Like we have to seriously introspect about our actions. Like, is there any element of hypocrisy in my activism or in my activity? Because it is our choices, it is our demands which causes this production and thereby pollution of earth. So we are also responsible for this. So we have to make uh, this yeah, we have to make this amendment. Not just like I have seen people just lobby organizations to make just different changes, but taking their personal cases, they are not just doing anything; they're just lobbying. So we have to make sure that these changes comes from not just institutional level, but also from individual levels as well. And also at this point of time, we can't just expect only the environmental organizations to fight in this online of this to fight this cause. We want all institutional and individual actors. Like we want all institutions. Even right now, even a sporting organization, a football club in the fourth tier of England, is has been named as World's First Green Football Club, and they serve plant-based meat to the um, football fans and even players. So even fans are influenced, and many times are turned vegan. So that is impact. Even they are doing more than what an environmental organization is doing. So yeah, that's the thing. And also talking about the things that I've taken to cut short my carbon emissions, and also to convert my cons into eco-activsm. So there are some things, and I will list it out. So talking about emails. So an email emits about 10 grams of carbon dioxide, 5 to 10 grams of carbon dioxide. And a sound mailbox or a spamless or junk, a spamless mailbox can save 20 million tons of carbon from being emitted. Because every year, 2 trillion spam mails are sent. That is 70% of our spam mails. The audience can check the mailboxes, because 70% of our of our mailboxes will be uh, spams. So yeah, and these spam mails accounts to 20 million tons of carbon dioxide every year. We are emitting 20 million tons of carbon dioxide just from spam mails. We are not even aware of it. It's a hidden fact, right? We are not even aware of it. So how can we reduce it? We are always talking about and always lobbying factories to reduce the carbon emission, but we are not taking care of our personal consumption or emissions. So according to my theory, we have to make the individuals liable as well. We have to make that guilt. We have to make that fear in their mind as well. So, so having a, like I said, having a sound email habit can help us in tons of carbon dioxide. So, because whenever we are doing something, we have to calculate in the basis of macro consumption or in big numbers. We have to take that in consideration of big numbers, not just single person. Because taking per month, taking my email carbon footprint of a single month, it may be uh, for example, 1 kilogram or 5 kilograms, for example, approximately. So, but take the case of 7 billion population. It's a big amount. So rather than always thinking about the micro consumption, we have to convert or calculate it in the basis of macro consumption. It only gives us it really paints a clear idea about what it's about, the impact it has on the environment. So talking about um, text messages. A text message emits about 0.07 grams of carbon dioxide. We have never thought of like yeah anyway, like most of the people are not aware of this fact that even text message emits a lot of carbon dioxide. So even like we have to make sure that we don't spam message. And the other thing is that like we have to exit from the groups which we feel futile, because uh, like I've seen some people whom like they are not interested in the group, like they just enter in the sake of entering just because of their friends or their different reasons, but they may not be opening it. So even if you're opening it or not, someone is sending it, and someone is sending it, and you already are delivering. So, so that means both parties are involved, even without the other parties, even if the other party is not opening the window. So that's the thing. So they have to make sure that we don't spam it. It's not a big deal, but what I would say it's not a big deal, but still we have to think about the emission that we need to create when we calculate the carbon emission from text of 7 billion population. So yeah, so let's talk about the carbon emission from dishwash. So this is actually a serious thing to do, because inappropriate or unsustainable dishwashing is about 500 grams to even 6 kilograms of carbon dioxide. And I would prefer all of you to use cold water rather than lukewarm water, because even heating water emits carbon dioxide. So yeah, so we have to make sure that this, the water is not running freely, and yeah, so we have to make sure that we are using the water and not letting it run freely. And also we have to use this cold water for washing as well. So that's the thing. And talking about shampoo bottles. Now it's been 2 3 years since I stopped the consumption of shampoo bottles, and the reason is yeah, because it comes in a plastic bottle, right? It comes in a plastic bottle. It contains microplastic, and yeah, microplastic. It also shampoos also contains palm oils, and palm oil plantations like palm oil because of palm oil plantation in countries like Indonesia, they're a giant in this business. They're clearing huge states of forest, and they do this slash and burn technique. They burn this forest after clearing. So after clearing and they burn it, and that means like we already talked in the first half, like that the trees absorb this carbon dioxide. It is already trapped in the trees, but uh, but when they are burned, these already trapped carbon dioxide and these viruses and all these toxins will be released in the atmosphere. So that means more trouble, because the source which gives us oxygen and absorbs this carbon dioxide will be now contributing more climate change than we can imagine. So yeah, so that's the thing. And every year this plastic, every year only 9% of the plastic products are recycled, and the rest are either incinerated or let's up in the landfills or ocean. Or and every year 4 million and marine species die because of plastic pollution. Plastic pollution either either consumption or ingestion of these plastic products, and which might block the digestive systems, and yeah, they might feel hungry, but actually they might not feel hungry. I'm sorry, they might not feel hungry because this plastic product is inside their guts. This will so, and they will die of starvation. So yeah, that's right. And every week, humans consume about the plastic waste and which are the price of a credit card. So plastic is literally served on a plate as well. Actually, yeah. So that is one reason why I've stopped the consumption of plastic bottles and things which comes in plastic bottle like shampoos. And also talking about the health factor, these shampoo bottles actually are toxic. It is cancerous, and it has more side effects, and it does more harm than good. So it is better to use uh, the alternatives, and we all know this thing. So and talking about the carbon footprint, a shampoo bottle emits about 16 kilograms of carbon dioxide. So it will release these microplastics, and it will enter the food chain. So that will create more trouble. It enters the food chain, it enters the soil, really pollutes the environment. So and the alternatives like Indian gooseberry, this and these are alternatives to shampoos and oil. And also, another thing is that there are communities who sell this oil or who are traditionally involved in this, and sometimes we might be yeah. Like how do I say, like we could help them, help these communities to earn an income and by making these oils as well. So that means there will be an ecology part, there will be an economy part as well. There will be any income. It is good for the economy, it is good for the ecology as well. So what goes hand in hand? It should be the way. Yeah, it should be the way. And talking about walking, so I really love walking, and I even for long distances. And I recently came across an app named Steps at Well. This is not for a promotional purpose. I'm just trying to introduce this app to all of you because it really motivates us to walk. It really yeah, it shows the steps and it shows the calories. But the interesting fact is that to some people and like the app rewards us the points for the walking. Yeah. So every time you walk, and this app rewards us with points, I'm using this app not just for the intention of using this points, and actually I haven't used this point. Actually, I haven't redeemed anything because it is not my intention to I'm sorry, I'm not using this app to earn coins, but to have that sheer satisfaction when we walk to see that how much steps you have taken, steps you have walked. So that is one reason which prompts me to walk. And also, walking is better than uh, like going with vehicles anyway. It's for short distances. And also, even walking emits carbon dioxide because it depends upon the diet. It depends upon our diet. Yeah. So talking about the screen time, and I make sure that I don't switch on the screen for just unproductive activities, or I will make sure that I won't leave the screen on, because even leaving the screen on without using it can emit carbon dioxide of up to 5 grams of carbon dioxide, because energy saved is energy produced, because we are charging the phone, and this power will not renewable resources. So this has energy derived from energy, right? So it has a hidden carbon footprint as well. So next, coming up, talking about the streaming services. And it's been 4 years since I stopped watching Netflix series. Yeah, because watching Netflix emits about 0.6 kilogram of carbon dioxide watching per hour. So yeah, so that's why I have stopped watching Netflix for series. So yeah, that's a serious thing for me. So yeah, so because every time we stream this online, it is actually steaming the planet, because there's a lot of things happening in the data centers, and there's a carbon footprint associated. Also, I'm happy that now these many of the streaming services are right now using what sustainable resources, or are they using solar panels as well? So yeah, things are changing. So talking about food waste. So uh, this isn't a big deal, but it is a big deal in some way, rather, because um, I made a vow that I won't waste food, and it's been 2 years that, because this wasting of food, and like whenever we are wasting food, we have to think about think about poverty, and we have to think about the amount of labor, the amount of resources, the amount of hours, and also we have to think about the final product as well. And also considering and also inappropriate disposal of this food can have will emit methane emissions. So methane emission is really a potent greenhouse gas, and it has more impact than carbon dioxide itself. So it does more harm if we waste food. And so at least we have to think from that perspective. So I've given two perspectives. Either we have to think about that, or think about carbon footprint. So um, talking about yeah, so these are some ways I cut my carbon emissions. So these are just small steps, and anyone can take this. This is not a big deal. I just came across the different statistics about this carbon footprint, and that's why I got more involved into this. And I was keen on educating others about, and I was keen on educating and making that fear in people to stop things like the way I did. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Aditya. Your story is actually inspirational. It's not like, it's not something that is made up story that comes in movies. This is like the story of a real person who does what it feels right for himself and for the planet. So thank you so much. On that note, I am I am again inspired to do something from my part. And as you told, individual actions matter and collective actions do matter. And even the small things like being conscious of how we send an email or a text message, or we junk the cloud storages and all of that. So I again maybe try to be more conscious in the days to come. So my question to you is, I guess I had a lot of questions and you did really answer a lot of them. And my question is, we are a group of students of naturopathy and yoga, which is a complementary medicine system in India. So I'm sure you would have known about that as well. So my question to you is, what do you think as healthcare providers we can do to the scene of climate change and eco-anxiety?
Healthcare providers. Yeah. So talking about this yeah yeah medical providers. So yeah, so the fundamental and the first thing that we need to have is we have to fight for this climate educational curriculum. This not just in the educational curriculum, but in every sphere. Like for example, at a football club named Forest, no, not Forest, I'm sorry, Wolfsburg. It's a German football club, and they even have their own forest. They deliver climate education. So climate education is one thing lacking in our system. So I would suggest climate education is the first thing that we need. Like it should be in the not just in the school curriculum, but in this curriculum in the medical field as well. It should be taught. The things about EcoAnxiety should be taught, and yeah. So talking about the scientific things as well. So the scientific and this medical community can do a lot because they can analyze the impact that people have. Like 2 3 months ago, a kid hailing from US just died because of climate change. So as medical providers, yeah, this uh, sector can actually um, give warnings and the health hazards it be causing, and also the changes that people's behavior, the changes in people's behavior to things like that.
Yeah, I think what you said makes sense, because as healthcare providers, we usually tend to focus on individual person and think that their actions or their bad lifestyle changes leads to the disease, but also the environment around them impacts their health. So again, climate change does have an impact on the health. So as you told, I think every healthcare provider should learn and be conscious about what climate change does to their health and as well as people's health, so that we can try to teach them, spread the awareness about climate change, and start an education about it, and help people come together and do something for this cause. So again, I think that will be the takeaway for students who will be watching this session when this comes on air. Thank you, Aditya. Thank you so much for accepting our offer. Yeah, tell us.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Every year, climate change kills more people than terrorism. So it should be declared as like national security issue as well. So this is another it kills more people than terrorism or any other thing. Yeah. I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, that's totally fine. I think you're bringing this perspective that you've collected over the years. And as a law student, I'm sure you'll be able to, guide all of us in a way that we can fight injustice with justice. And it's also evident that climate justice and, uh, other injustice for people, for race, for caste, and all other things are together and closely associated with climate as well. So I think your work will be very, crucial in improving the situation as well. And thank you so much, and wishing you all the best for all your upcoming endeavors. Thank you so much for accepting this offer.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for accepting. It means a lot. Yeah, I believe I did justice to the question.
Yeah. Yes, you did. I think this is the first time we are having such a session regarding climate change in our platform. I think this is the start, because usually medical care providers don't really think about this, and I believe we have to start thinking about this and start working regarding that. And thank you so much for being that first step towards the
And
change.
yeah, and I couldn't answer more about. I couldn't dive more into this because I'm not an expert, but I will definitely research more about how the medical field can contribute or contribute also to call out people to action to counter climate change.
So maybe we can have another session in the future when you're ready with all your research and ideas.
Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you so much.